is only 2 weeks away. There's no time for messing around. We're reaching deep in the bag of comforts for this week's movie. For those of you who grew up with this flick like I did, you understand how an October feels incomplete without it. We're talking about the 1988 horror comedy, A Night of the Demons. Looking back, I don't think an 8-year-old me should have been watching a movie with such adult themes, but damn it, I'm thankful I did. A Night of the Demons is just a no-strings-attached fun time, and I have so many fond memories of my youth while trying to round third base with this movie playing in the background. This is the definition of a cult film, and it's our pleasure to chop it up and discuss it with each and every one of you. Boys and girls, without any further introduction, here is our take on A Night of the Demons. Welcome to the Sloppy Horror Podcast. I am your host and your scary movie companion, Christian Ramey, and back again for another week, clapping them cheeks and spitting on your face, Mr. Ozark Mark. What's going on?
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We are in the in the gist of October. It's been a fantastic October so far for most people. I hope it is for you.
Have you been carving pumpkins?
No.
All right, well, look. You know, it was for the whole world out there. If they've been carving pumpkins, send in your fucking pumpkin pics. Hey, I want you to get a real good pic of your pumpkin, okay? All right? And you send it in to me, because Ozark and I are actually, we're some of the best pumpkin carvers this side of the Mississippi. I will let you know. We will spill your seeds all over. We will carve your guts out. So send us pictures of your pumpkins. That would be greatly appreciated. So that brings me to something else. If you love our show, if you love Ozark and I, there's a few things that you can do. First off, you could join our Discord. There's links all over. There's some in our link tree.
Oh my goodness, it's back.
Yeah, it's back. We're going to do some watch parties. We got more free time, but we went really hard via, with the TikTok and all other atmospheres and the show and getting the Patreon up and running, because we talked about doing that for a long time. So now we could stretch the legs, get the Discord running. But speaking of the Patreon, for cheaper than a cup of coffee a month, you could support Ozark, Mark, and I, and you can also get 4 more episodes a month of bonus content. This is what we do, folks, and we very much appreciate you week after week being with us, and especially this time of year. Makes it all more special, because I used to be a haunt actor, and, I used to miss doing that in October when I didn't do it. But I don't feel that way now that I got this show, and I get to talk about spooky shit with people every week. All right, so now that we got all these greetings out the way, folks, this is a great movie we're talking about. This is a Halloween movie. This is Night of the Demons, okay?
The Nights of the Demons.
Not to be confused with Night of the Seamen, because that is also a great. It's a bunch of guys go sailing at night, catch a bunch of fish. Not to the Seamen.
Dude, that's probably an actual movie somewhere.
Right. It probably is.
Somebody Google it and tell me what you find.
I used to work with this kind of hillbilly guy, and I'll never forget it, because I explained myself as being a scary movie guy or whatever, and people got to know me. And he's like, "Hey man, I seen this one movie. It was called Demon Seaman," and he kept saying Demon Seaman, and he probably said the movie title probably 30 times, and he's like, "Nah, man, and Demon Seaman, they was." I'm like, I know what the movie title is now, bud, but it just doesn't roll off the tongue gingerly, it just Demon Seaman. That's gonna stop people in the grocery store if you let that one slip out, and then you could just let people know, it's a group of sailors on, the demon boat.
It's quite the story. Yeah. You should look into it.
So, Ozark, Mark, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard of this movie before watching it?
No.
Never heard of it? Okay, well
No,
that's
I've never heard of it, but it's what is it, 1988?
yes, sir.
It is what horror movies used to be to the T.
Yes, and it's fun. It takes place with Halloween, but it's not too serious. Revolves around the Halloween party. All right, here's the reason, boys and girls, why I kind of picked this. Honestly, if you were to go top 25 horror movies for me, Night of the Demons would be it. And I don't know why that I have such an appetite for movies that are, we'll just say bad. They're so bad they're good. I just have an appetite for that, Ozark Mark. And I watched this movie so many times as a kid that, like, there's this lipstick scene in this movie. It changed a young me's life. I looked at life different. 8-year-old me was like, all right, that's girls like when you shove lipsticks in their nips. Apparently they don't. They don't like that. That's not a thing.
I wouldn't recommend it, no.
Not a thing. Don't try to shove lipstick in some girl's boobies. It's not a good thing. They don't like that. But it taught me a lot as a young man. I thought the special effects were really great for being like, you have these like quote unquote cheap, cheesy horror movies, but they have effects that are off the fucking chain. Like they are incredible. So they're not necessarily cheap. It's just the money was spent elsewhere. Maybe it was spent on the offense versus the defense. If you're like building a team here, effects were top notch. Maybe where acting was lacking in this flick. Now,
Well, sometimes the lacking of acting makes it good.
it does, dude. It does, because it's not taking itself too serious. So, if I can give you a little synopsis here, we've got a group of characters, and I knew you would touch it. I know it's hard not to touch.
It's hard not to touch that thing.
Dude, can you get it to lift? Tell me if you can get it to lift.
I'll try it later.
I'm
Fine. Look, you keep talking. You keep talking. This is a visual thing. Let's see if I can open it.
It's a Hellraiser puzzle box. I finally got it. And yes, you can kind of make it lift. Very fun. Anyways, the synopsis to the story is we have a group of teenagers here. A group of teenagers, and they're all going to go to a Halloween party at the haunted house of the town. It's called the Hall House. And the person hosting the party is kind of the outcast kid from high school, the weirdo. And her name is Angela. And once shit, he got it.
That didn't open the way I wanted it to, but I opened it. Yeah, sorry about that. Continue, please.
I don't think he broke it.
I hope I didn't break it.
Look, so
that's not the way it goes.
you got to match up the patterns.
Oh, okay. There's patterns on it. I see it. Got it. Next. Continue, please.
So, Angela and Suzanne, these are the two fucking creepy girls. They're hosting this party, and they're inviting over some, we'll just say some, basic people. You know what I mean? They're just, your normal, run-of-the-mill, popular kids. And they get to this creepy house. They start doing some seances. Demons take over their body. And as soon as these people attack the other people, they turn into demons too. Oh, sorry, come on.
I'm sorry, trying to get back together. I couldn't. Your synopsis is good. There it is. Nope.
No, it's upside down. The circle doesn't go in it.
Oh, okay, got it. Continue with your synopsis.
Well, I think that's it.
Are you sure?
Demons take over.
Can you keep talking for just a second? There it is. Got it. All right.
It's not maxed up.
Inspect. Yes, it is.
No, it's not. The pattern doesn't match up.
Oh, I hate this thing. Let's go over there. I'll get it later.
Give it to me.
No.
I want to fix it.
All right. I'll match up the patterns. I got it.
Look, Ozark Mark's is fixing it.
Yeah, I'm fixing it.
I just don't want your spirit I don't want you to go to hell. See, there you go. Now now the Cenobites are back.
Now you just gotta, I gotta understand it. Then I figured it out.
The Cenobites are gone. I was taking care of your soul, brother.
Cinnamon bites.
Cinnamon bites? Hold on. I thought there was cinnamon bites. Who the fuck are you?
Oh, cinnamon bites. Cinnamon bites sound good.
They do, actually. So, Ozark Mark, I will say, Were there any practical effects in this movie that stood out to you? Like anything that, maybe registered to you as a fun time? Because there's a lot for me personally that I love about this movie, and even though the characters are kind of shitty, they're really fun characters. You get Scrooge, he's kind of the asshole type. You get Judy, like the typical like dumb cheerleader type, so to speak. Jay, but they all die in their own ways. Is what I'm getting at. You get people with their eyes taken out. You get people with their tongues bitten off, with their arms ripped off. There's a lot of fun going down in this. Was there anything that freaked you out? Did you have to keep the lights on when you went to bed?
No.
Okay.
No, it's way too. I'm sorry, it's too just cheesy and funny in that great way. It's hard to be scared of it. It really is. It's hard to take it seriously. But when you're a kid, sure, I see your face. I know you watched this a ton when you were a kid. It's a different time then, but I'm saying now, different.
The vernacular is a lot different. So Scrooge, the character that had the pig nose, the big guy, and he had this he has the haircut of like 1 in 15 high school baseball players have the haircut that Scrooge has nowadays. That's just what it is, and it's actually kind of sick nowadays. Kid, don't let your kid watch Night of the Demons if you don't want him walking away with, one of these mullets, because he might get an inspiration. He might be like, oh, that's sick. I'm going to hit dingers, dog, with the mullet, like Scrooge. But there was this guy, the way he talked to, I forget her name, but he did, because he kept calling her bitch. He was like, just shut up and drive, bitch. And it was like, whoa, bro.
Yeah, he was out of left field for sure, out of nowhere.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Shut up, bitch. And you're like, whoa, bro. Like, you need to, like, we're going to get fucked up here. Like, it's a different day and age. I guess you were able to talk to ladies all reckless McTexas back then.
I don't know. That was so over the top for me.
I know.
Hilarious, though. Caught me off guard when I first I'm like, what? Yo.
I know.
Came out of nowhere, especially in the car. Where he's like, shut up and drive, you bitch. Whoa.
I think you probably like Sal's character a lot.
I wonder how you knew that.
Look,
hey, me, go get your sister.
Why don't you go get your fine piece of a sister and tell her to come out here? Like, that guy, if you were a teenager in the 80s, that's who you would be. All right? I mean, I would be your friend, so I would be a very similar character, but hey, fucking relax.
I don't think so.
Here's some change for your troubles. He's giving him like 50 cents.
No, he's like, look, this is my final offer. He whips out $1. Where's Party? Man, I died laughing every time he was on screen. Just he was such the generic character in that sense. So funny.
I know. Like, that's a character that makes the movies enjoyable, and that's what I mean. It's such a bad movie. It's good. And I think even as a kid, I knew that. Like, I'm not defending it. Like, if you tell me, like, Nightmare on Elm Street's old and cheesy, like, I'm going to sit there and throw hands with you because that's got more of an artistic touch. Night of the Demons knew it was a fun time. Another one of those kind of FUBU flicks, I think. But this, for us, by us horror fans, I think as part of like the VHS boom of tapes moving around, this definitely got circulated, and I'll just never kind of forget the first time I saw Night of the Demons, and I don't know, man. It's like I throw this son of a bitch on more than in October, probably 3 times a year. Sometimes it's background noise, sometimes it's whatever, but I just enjoy the shit out of it. I love the transformation scenes of the demons. I love how Angela, she just does her little dance, and then when she gets scary, bro, and she's like floating through the hallways, she gets fucking scary. Suzanne as well, because they're like banging the dudes. You'd fall into that trap. Of course you would. She's got nice titties, all right? First off, any movie with Linnea Quigley, I'm going to watch. And that's the blonde-headed lady, if you didn't know, Mark. She's got nice boobies, all right? But she gets scary. And, like, I might be willing to get scary with her if it's just, like, a lifelong of banging and, like, putting stuff in her titties. I don't know. Like, I mean, it's definitely, I'm going to weigh out my options. All I'm going to see what's going on in this demon house. Are we always going to be like this? Do I got to sit here and fuck you forever? Or is this just a night? Like, once the sun comes up, it's every Halloween. We just get weird. Not a big deal. Like, I don't know. Give me the rules. Because that might be fun to, unhinge a little bit.
Might be good to let yourself go a little bit.
Yeah, hey, yeah,
That's what that's what you do.
That's what Halloween's all the fuck about.
That's what you do and what it is. Who's your favorite character then? Since you asked me who's mine, who is yours be?
And probably Sal too. Roger's kind of fun. The black guy, he's funny because he's like smart the whole time. He said, "Nah, my daddy was a preacher. I know better than me messing with this stuff. I'm out of here." And he's like, "I don't have a car. You got to give me a ride."
I remember when he's talking about the map in the car. It's like, man, whoever wrote this map must be blind and retarded.
Hey, did you remember the part where like Jay went to go pick up Judy from her house and his Judy's mom offered him like a fucking fudge log and it's just like a piece of shit on a the son was cracking me up. He's like, "Mom, he doesn't want it because it looks like a sun-dried poodle turd." She said, "Don't say that."
I wouldn't eat those things. Those things did look nasty.
Yeah, man, but you wanna try to impress. You wanna try to do your best, dog. You wanna try to do your best, and they might be good. They might be good. You don't know. You're about to go battle demons later and get your eyes ripped out. Go ahead and eat a little shit.
Did the old man in the movie make you laugh?
He did. That also may be us in a world. Kid's just fucking with him. He's just getting angry. He decides to put razor blades in apples. That's where the whole thing comes from. Old fuckers like that. Old guys like that. But he got his. He got his at the end because his wife killed him. She put those apples inside of his,
Of his pie. Was that an apple pie that was eating?
I think he was eating one of them apple pies.
One of them apple pies.
I love America and being fucking angry.
Nothing better than a good old piece of apple pie.
Man, this Newcastle's hitting the spot, brother.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good.
It's pretty good stuff here.
In Newcastle.
How do you say this movie? You know how we always say the movie. How do you say Night of the Demons? I can't help but to think of like an old German guy. Oh, the Knights of the Demons.
Night of the Demons.
The Knights of the Demons.
Night of the Demons. It's one of those two. Either's acceptable. Night of the Demons. Night of the Demons. Hey.
Hey man, don't go out there. All right, there are demons out there.
Me and my lady friend, we was watching this one of them scary movies. It was Night of the Demons, and I tell you what, this shit was weird. All right, there was naked girls putting lipstick all over their face, fucking boys ripping their arms off, all kind. I seen this girl. She got her neck broken by a man with a pig nose. I'd be like, "Sir, that's a movie I kind of want to fucking watch."
Yeah, I would accept his recommendation and take it upon myself to watch it if I heard a description like that from a guy who sounded like that.
There was just a time frame in horror movies where it was like a renegade time of like, just what can we get away with? What can we put on fucking film? What can we record and give to the public? And there's a part of people that like enjoy that smut. I enjoy watching something like this over watching like The Bachelor or like any kind of stupid ass dating show or like Love Island or something like that. I don't want to watch that. I would much rather watch this kind of smut. That's more attractive to me because it's harder work in my opinion. There's a lot of makeup going on and it's just a piece of history. Night of the Demons is like you talk to people, especially some, elite horror fans, you work your way into there. This always pops up at conventions. I've seen some of the sickest artwork I've seen is Night of the Demons stuff because, the makeup, they look so creepy. That'd freak a kid out. She said she was fucking with dude, she was banging dude, and he was looking at her and she was like, "Don't look at me!" You're like, oh man, she's hungry, you gotta feed her. I've been there. You must have ignored the warning. I'm hungry.
Like when they're almost escaping, Judy and black guy. What's his name? I'm sorry, I forget their names.
Roger.
Roger. Okay, when they go down there and she opens up the crematorium door, it's like, Roger, it's an oven. He's like, it's a what?
It's a what?
It's a what? Like, he's just scared. It's a what?
One of my favorite parts of this movie is, too, like, generally in horror movies, when there is a group of you, like, let's just say, like, you are behind me trying to unlock the door, and I look over, and Michael Myers is down the hall. I go, oh, shit, you gotta get out of here. Everyone in this movie, when they see a demon, they just run and leave their counterpart. They don't say shit to the other person. And the other person's just like, like
Roger,
thanks for saying something, dude. Like,
Roger, even at the end when he's trying to hold her, Roger's trying to pull Judy up over the wall and she's got demons on her, and he just fell and he just put his ears over his head and gave up.
like, look, I ain't doing this no more.
Nah, but they both survived, so good for them. We got good survivors. We got multiple survivors, and that's always a good little twist there that you don't expect all the time.
They survived the night of the demons.
The Night of the Demons.
I might they're not demons.
Would you like to watch a movie with me? Yeah? How about Night of the Demons?
What about the part when them girls were stealing from the store, Ozark Mark? Did that crack you up a little bit, girl?
How does it not?
Yeah. She walked out there and said, do you guys have sour balls? And they said, well, sure we do. Well, that sucks. You guys must not get many blowjobs.
Even their conversations are just so 80s and generic. It's funny.
Mm-hmm.
Ton of that in there.
She busted out a strobe light when they were all partying. She's like, yeah, I found it in my mom's closet. She's an old acid head. Okay. All right, then.
It's a very random piece of information. I don't think you had to share it with the rest of the group.
She's an old acid head. All right.
Dude, what would you be like if you were an old acid head? Like, how would you function?
That was that old strychnine acid. That shit messed your spine up.
That shit will boil your brain. You know that video with, like, this is your brain on drugs?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what happened to them.
Yeah. Ozark Mark and I are on acid right now. How are we doing? Are we holding up? We're just kidding. We are not on acid.
Oh, dude.
We could spice it up one time, I guess.
If we actually did an episode like that, I don't think I'd ever air it.
We just couldn't look at each other because we'd laugh a lot.
No,
I think we can make it if it, like, we got past that first little laughing stage, and then you're like, all right, we got to record it. Because it might be very interesting.
No, it won't.
It would be to people who know us typically in our typical conversations, so it would be funny to them to hear us like, no, man, think, like, eyebrows were invented. You were born
Dude,
with
that
eyebrows.
would be so horrible to listen to. Because it doesn't matter, because whenever we did it, literally, it would just be an hour of us talking about one subject and laughing about it. Because our luck, we would be sitting here and we would have that peak moment while it's recording. So it would be literally about 45 minutes of us laughing at the same thing. And then we'll be sitting there, that was a good episode.
Yeah, if we did that, we'd have to do like us reacting and watching a movie. That would be funny. Then you could edit it later, our laughter. Like just while us watching the movie.
Yeah, I could do that.
Us watching the Goodfellas or like analyze this or that. We wouldn't make it.
No.
We wouldn't make it.
No, absolutely not.
Any kind
I'd give myself 5 minutes before I laugh.
I don't know why that's always funny, but it just works. And this is just up there with it. Night of the Demons is like a... I'm not going to say it's a kid-friendly movie because there's sex stuff in it, you know, and there's boobies, but teenager for sure. And I get asked all the time, hey, Christian, what are, like, you know, some of the 80s horror films that I should delve into, some of the, you know, wackier ones? Night of the Demons is top of the list. You got a little sex appeal. You've got your forgettable characters. Your unforgettable kills. Okay, it's not a slasher, so we're not dealing with your atypical killer. You got a group of demons, and they're scary. They're freaky, dog, because after one takes over, they all take over. These people are stuck. There's the fear element. It just, I don't know, man. It encapsulates 80s horror. Like, 80s, I don't want to say slasher, but just kind of like 80s VHS shitty horror. And I love it. It's like, so, like, it's chef kiss.
It's the type of movie you'd find in a box at a garage sale.
It's a microwave burrito, buddy. It's just like there when you need it, and it's just comforting. You like microwave burritos, Mark. Don't you lie to me. You'd eat one right now.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
They're decent.
I've eaten many of microwavable burritos in my life. So, yes, I'll definitely accept this movie, if that's what you're comparing it to.
Now, this little road to Halloween we've been on, I feel like we're trying to cover some good ones here, dog. Like we did Dracula. Motherfucking Dracula.
Blech.
We did The Craft.
The Craft.
The Craft. Oh, we watched The Craft together. And then we went and we did Dracula. You know, you kind of got to make that Bram Stoker's Dracula. You got to make that, you know, sound scarier.
Yeah.
But guys, I mean, we're hitting dingers here. Now I've got a busy couple weeks coming up, and we are working still. We both, Ozark, Mark, and I both are. This is a busy month for us. You do not understand, but we won't give up. We're still gonna come with you, walk our way to Halloween. You think we just talk shit all year about spooky shit, and we're just gonna walk out of your lives in October? We don't fucking think so. We're here. We're the candle in your pumpkin, baby. Just lighten it up. Ozark has a look of seriousness in his face, okay? A look of seriousness in his face, okay? I think Night of Demons has touched him at a different level.
The Night of the Demons?
Yeah. Do you think that you would have survived this situation?
Do I think I would have survived this situation? Yes.
Me too.
It's pretty simple. All you gotta do is get off of the property.
Yeah, but do you think you would have hooked up with one of the girls?
Yeah.
Yeah, that would. You got to make sure it's not one of the demon ones.
That's kind of like the goal of that 80. If I was at an 80s party and I was a teenager, or however old these people are, I'd say like what, early 20s or something, late 19, 20. Okay, that's kind of the goal of that. So yeah, I would fall victim to that, but I would get away.
I like that part in the movie where Scrooge's car, like the tire went flat, and then the other group of guys drove past him, and they were like, "Oh man, you guys need a hand?" And like, and Roger's like, "We sure could."
He starts clapping and running away.
And they just drive away.
Oh man,
see ya!
I love it. I love it. People don't do that to people anymore.
Roger's. We sure could. He went very endearing, like, please help us. And he just clapped and drove away. Like, I don't know why it's so fun. We sure could.
You know why it's funny? Because people don't diss people like that anymore. People used to like the late 80s, early 90s dissing people. Once you got past 2000s, people didn't diss people like that anymore.
Yeah, yep, the internet kills a lot of boredom, dog.
Yeah.
Like, we used to be mean to each other. See ya!
Those were the good old days right there.
So wonderful. Poor Roger.
We sure could. Do that next time if somebody asks you if you need help. Just do that.
We sure could.
Something simple. Like, going to the grocery store, not finding the right item. And if someone asks you if you need help, we sure could.
We sure could.
I can't find the tortillas. Because you're in the Asian aisle, sir.
You're not looking good enough.
Yeah.
You got eyes in your head, but you don't see nothing. Now, I'm letting you know, also, like I've got, a cheek clapping movie list of horror movies. This is up there. I don't know why, but you put this on, clap a little cheeks. There's some music throughout it. You know, make a fuckathon of this movie. All right, I'm giving you guys the advice out here. It's October. All right, what about? Look, I know there's a bunch of you out there that listen. I could name a bunch of you by names. Okay, Shane, get your fuck on to this movie. Put it on. Clap some cheeks if you're out there, because this is one of my favorites. You know, if you're trying to impress a girl, you put this bad boy on. She's got to be into you because she ain't going to be into the movie. And if she's into the movie, then you got a win-win.
I wanted to just do Christian Ramey's bang advice.
Boner jams.
Boner jams, and then give this advice to just regular people who aren't into horror movies. See if they get it or not. Oh God, that's funny.
Oh, you trying to get freaky with your old lady? I'll tell you what you do. You put on House of 1,000 Corpses. You put your thumb on her butthole. Your whole relationship would change. I'd be like, really?
Because that's what I think of when I put that movie on. So,
really? And like just like it, but you got to get somebody very vanilla. You know, like somebody very like, oh. Yeah, oh, I'm telling you, brother. You get that movie on, when it starts getting hot and heavy, man, that's when you get the thumb right on that butthole. You know, and he might take it to heart, and he does that in his whole, you know, you don't know. You don't know what's going to go on. The whole Disney family, you just corrupted the whole house. Just because you gave some advice. He's going to start doing crazy shit. He's going to be smoking weed in the garage. You don't know.
Okay, we need to find out more things about this movie too, please.
Nights of the Demons.
The Nights of the Demons? Bang, bang. Welcome to the What Do You Know here. This is a segment here where we're here to tell you something that you may or may not know about this movie. Now, if this is your first time here, let me tell you how this is going to go. We're going to tell you things we know about this movie. Now, you may know what we know about this movie. You may not know what we know about this movie. But you're going to know what we know about this movie, and then you're going to have a we know-gasm. If you already knew what we knew about this movie, you already had one before, and you're about to have one again. So this is how it goes. Why don't you tell me something that you may or may not know about this movie here?
The funny character in this movie, the guy's name is Sal. Sal! That's his name.
That's his name there.
Sal.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what they call the guy.
Yeah.
Look, his last name's Romero. Okay, we're not fucking stupid. That's a nice little tip of the cap to Mr. George Romero there.
Of course.
Okay, and maybe you didn't peep that out, but now you know when you go back looking into this. Okay, now you know going back into this. Ozark Mark, why don't you tell me something you know about the Night of the Demons?
Hold on, I can't tell you that because my mind is still blown from that first fact.
Well, there's a lot of facts going on.
I know there's a lot going on. I'm sorry. I just processed your fact and it was fantastic. So thank you for that.
Yeah, it was like Space Jam.
It must have been what a we know. It must have been what a we know game was.
Together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know some facts about this movie.
Okay, tell me.
Really just one, but fact, singular.
A singular fact.
I got a singular fact for you, angular. So check this out. This movie here is The Night of the Demons. Wasn't the original title of this movie, of course. This is a common fact that we bring back to the show, but not everybody knows these common facts. It's a common fact, but not a common fact, if you understand what I'm saying. You know what it was called before? You know what they wanted to call it before?
What they want to say?
Do you really know what they wanted to call it before?
The Afternoon of Not Angels.
No.
Oh.
That probably would have been better, but yeah, they called it Halloween Party originally. Halloween Party.
Halloween Party.
It's a very generic name. It doesn't look like a Halloween party to me. It looks like The Night of the Demons.
My Aunt Paula, she would have a Halloween party.
Yeah, see, do you think of that when you think of Aunt Paula's Halloween party?
No, no.
No, I don't either.
It was nothing like that.
I don't either. But hey, now you know what's, so you can do secret code. on the Christian Ramey's Bona, whatever you called it.
Bona James.
Bona Jams. Hey, you want to watch Halloween Party? Wink, wink. And if they realize it's Nights of the Demons,
You got you a good one.
yeah, you're gonna get some ass. So good for you.
Good
so now
for
you know.
Good for you.
Now you know.
Yeah, so I think that's it. That's some good facts we got there.
Okay, good. So we're gonna go now. Goodbye.
See you later. Ozark Mark.
Yes.
Now,
I'm over here now. What do you want?
if I had to ask you just a quick little, what comes to mind when you think of October horror movies? Because we still have a couple to pick from, and I not that I say I felt selfish in this October selection, but I've been in there. Is there anything gleaming in our face that we've been missing?
As far as in the Halloween movie or in the October movie? Which one did you ask me?
Like an October movie. I meant like Halloween in the sense of like this, the holiday, not the franchise.
Oh, yes.
I just want to make sure that you're fairly represented in October just as much as I am. Because...
I can't think right now. It's too much pressure.
All right.
Ask me later.
All right. We'll figure this out later.
What do you think, though? Has anything come to your mind that we haven't done yet?
Honestly, I've known all year long that we were going to do The Craft
The Craft.
and Night of the Demons.
The Night of the Demons.
Because seriously, man, if I was going to host like a Halloween party, which I do sometimes, but like if people were coming in the sense of like watching movies, I'm definitely throwing this in the mix. I don't know why, it just feels, obviously their Halloween party was going to be the name. So obviously that's a reason why it feels that way, but it's something more than that, man. It definitely taps into my childhood very much so. And last week we did such a serious movie in Bram Stoker's Dracula. Francis Ford Coppola, it's very serious, very artistic. This is like the exact opposite. It's a way different level, but that's what we want to provide to you. We want your Halloween month to feel good and have a wide array of options. So you're fucking welcome. I'm not exactly sure who did the special effects in this movie, which I should. That's something I should know. That's a fact that I should know. But I really think they did a superb job in this because they still hold up to some degree. Like, there's some, of these effects that still look great. Because it's not like, if you go back to, Dawn of the Dead 70s graphics, the blood looks fake, it looks like paint. It's still fun. It's still a great movie, but these still kind of hold up. They're still kind of creepy. It creep out a kid. The gore looks awesome. It's because it is a practical effect and not a CGI. Because eventually we turned a corner and we don't get this anymore. So this is a nice little, what do you call those things when you bury them in the ground? A timestamp. Okay, nice little timestamp of the 80s.
It's a time capsule, not a timestamp.
Well, okay, well, whatever, yeah.
Were you talking about burying down in the ground?
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
that's a time capsule.
That's a time
you're right,
capsule. You can't put a time stamp on this, is what you're saying, right?
Look,
I just envisioned you burying stamps.
I buried all my stamp
If you want
collections.
if you want your neighbors to think you're weird, just go out there and start burying stamps.
I'm burying my stamps so they don't get moldy. Just say weird things.
Yes, the practical effects are great, and I like how over the top and ridiculously bad they are at the same time. For instance, when big guy gets his tongue cut off.
Oh, you're talking about my man Scrooge.
Sorry, yes, Scrooge.
You're fine.
When Scrooge gets his tongue cut off and he's back, and he's just gushing blood everywhere. It's everywhere. Half of his face is bloody. It's dripping down, and then you just look back at her and she's just got one scrape. Down. After the amount of blood that just went through this man and came out of this man, I feel like she should have a little bit more blood on her.
She tricked him. Funkin' bitch. Trying to eat my man Scrooge up. We don't play that.
Well, if we had to forage for food, he would be the first one to be eaten.
That's true. We got a green in front of the situation.
Yes.
I like how when they tried to escape and the gate just disappeared and they're just surrounded by a brick wall. I would have climbed the barbed wire too, but I would have been smart enough to maybe throw a jacket or something over it.
Or just put your hand where
There isn't barbs.
I always look at barbed wire that way. I'm like, just put your hand between them, or use your fingers. You can get your fingers in between the barbs and get out of there.
It's not, I mean, it's not going to feel great on your hands.
No, but it's possible. If it's a life or death situation, if you're going to stab your hand with a barb to get out, you're going to stab your hand with a barb to get out. I don't care.
You just get up on the ledge and one just goes on your ass cheek.
Ooh. Well, that's kind of good. That's probably, they say if you get shot, you want to get shot in the ass.
Or your arm.
Or the arm.
I saw that on Mansers. You remember that show?
Why they need to bring that show back?
That was such a stupid, cool show, just like this movie. It's just so dumb. It was great.
Yeah. I forgot about that show. That show was actually cool to watch.
Manses. I'm going to go watch me some Manses. I don't know if anyone else has to say, like, titles of shows and movies with a rhythm or a ring, but it just feels right.
It's just so much more fun.
Knights of the Demons.
You're going to remember that, too. When you say things in a certain way, you're more likely to remember them.
People Under the Stairs. Mm-hmm. That one's hard. That's just hardwired in there.
Oh, that's in there forever. The People Under the Stairs.
Yeah, that's just how you want to say it, dude.
The Thing.
The Thing. Hey, did you watch The Thing?
What else? I'm trying to think of other ones that we do. They'll come to mind.
Oh, yeah. Hey.
Let's go through the portal. It's ready. Let's go through the portal for the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating.
Wow.
Sloppy horror rating, baby, yeah!
Yes. Welcome to the Sloppy Horrors ratings. Sloppy Horror rating. This is where we're at, and this is where we're going to be. Now, if this is your first time here, let me tell you how this is going to go. Okay? This is the segment of the show where the world-famous horror movie nerd himself, Christian Ramey, is going to rate this horror movie. Now, not just any rating. We rate it as a horror movie, not a movie in general. So please keep that in mind.
Or else.
Just because it's a low score doesn't mean it's a bad movie. Just because it's a high score doesn't mean it's a great movie. But it gets the job done of exactly what you're looking for. So we're going to do this in a series of 4 categories. 3 of the categories are worth 3 points. Last category is worth 1.48, total of
10 points altogether. DDP Diamond Cutter.
10 points altogether. Here we go. So let's get into the first category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is casting.
What are you doing, Lexington?
There's a dog down here. There was a dog down here, and he's everywhere. He's causing ruckus.
So, if we're getting into casting, I'm going to give this a 1. I love Linnea Quigley. I think everybody else did a great job. But it was just, these aren't top-tier actors and not top-tier dialogue. So I won't put it all on the actors. I think they all nailed the assignment, but not, this isn't Jack Nicholson and Shelley Duvall in The Shining. So I'm going a 1.
That's correct.
Fucking animal. What is this Animal Planet down here?
Church is here now.
Get out of here, man.
Hello, Churchy Church.
Look.
He's saying hello multiple times. So that is 1 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the second category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is kills.
Kills. So, kills are a lot of fun in this. You get a lot of different variety of kills to some degree. I mean, get some eyes coming out, get some tongues bitten out. You get some necks twisted, some arms ripped off. I want to go 1.5. 1.5 feels fair. It's not enough to be a 2, but it's like enough where there's like enough creativity and enough special effects to put it like more than your just like throat slash kind of movie. Get out of here, cat.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense to me. So that is 2.5 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the third and final 3-point category here in the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is fear.
0.5 point. 0.5 point.
0.5 point on fear.
0.5 point on fear. Get out of here, cat.
You leave the cat alone. He was just hungry. Everybody gets hungry, okay?
Well, it's not time for that.
Okay, so that was half a point on fear. Why is it half a point on fear?
Because it's just not scary. It's more funny. And, you're only going to get scared if you're a little kid on this. This is a FUBU horror movie. This is for horror fans. This isn't like, hey, bring everyone you know to the theater and come see The Sixth Sense. No. Like, this is you have to have a very refined palate. You have to have a more cultured taste, if you will, for bad horror movies. And this isn't for everyone, and I will give it a half a point because it's not scary. It's more enjoyable, funny, and gnarly than it is scary.
That pretty much sums it up. I agree with you 102%. So, that is 3 out of 10 so far here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating. Let's get into the final 1-point category for half a point each here on the Sloppy Horror Podcast rating, and that is rewatchability.
Rewatchability is a fucking for sure. Like, I would probably say I've seen this movie 300 times.
Well, it's the pure definition of a rewatchable movie because there's no real story. There's nothing to spoil. You know what's going to happen. It's a fun time movie. Fun time movies are 100% rewatchable. And this is the exact type of movie that breeds a rewatchable movie.
Yep. I'm going a half point. You going a half point too?
Going a half point. So that is a total of 4 out of 10 for the Knights of the Demons.
That's a good score for it. It really is, man. It's just what you need it to be, man. Microwave burrito, baby. It's just there when you need it. And a necessary stop on the road to Halloween. It was just a necessary stop. I'm glad that we got this one in the book.
It was the big billboard with the skylights in the middle of a dark highway.
That's what it was. And now we are past it. I mean, I think we only have one more movie and then the Halloween episode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably. I think so. If my math is correct.
Maths. So, we're going to go out with a banger. And then for Halloween, Mark and I, we've actually put a curse on our whole town, and we've put out we've started a mask store. So all the kids who are going to wear a mask. They're going to turn into whatever they're wearing. It's going to be a fun ordeal. Not a big deal. Mark's idea, I went in with him, because I like it. It was creative. And, I mean, how many people are trying to spice up Halloween like that? Not many.
Yeah,
so,
if you're an adult, I just want to go outside.
Yeah, not if you're in the Cincinnati or the, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky tri-state area. I would not go outdoors on Halloween. Mark and I have, we got this thing going on. But aside from that, we're working hard to bring you content. Mark, tell them what we've been doing on our Patreon, by the way, for the folks just curious of what goes on the other world. I mean, we've been trying to creep people out. I mean, it's not necessarily Road to Halloween, not the same trend, but we've been trying to scare people, right?
Yes, that's correct. We have been reading scary stories for about half the episode, and we're going to do it all spook season long. So we've gotten a lot of good feedback about those stories. They say people like them. Mm-hmm. It's always good to hear a nice ghost story. I mean, hey, ghost stories are legendary. And we've been doing that. We've been having a lot of fun, plus our usual shenanigans, which we have no idea what we're going to talk about until we start talking.
Wait till the Christmas season. We read kids' letters, and they talk about how Santa banged their mom. It's all kinds of fun. We send them presents. You can be a part of it. You can be a part of the whole ordeal. And, I mean, this is just October. It's a lot of holidays to get through. Thanksgiving, we're like Nino Brown giving out turkeys in the street, and then we put those episodes out for you guys to hear.
That is correct. Yes.
Why do people give out turkeys in the street? Where are they going to cook them if they don't have a house?
I never thought of that. Such a waste of a good bird.
Why don't you give out just get out there with the deep fryer. Get out there with like a situation with like 20 deep fryers and just start deep frying turkeys and handing them out. Because then you're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
Then you're getting somewhere.
Dude, there's got to be a Thanksgiving food truck.
Yeah,
We just got a shit ton of
you know how they got like the
deep fried turkeys.
the Tide truck that comes up and it'll wash your laundry. You know, they got like big laundry stations. They got that.
What would you do though if Tide rolled up to your street and
I
just
think
started giving that free laundry out?
they do it in disaster situations. So probably like the hurricane and stuff, they'll pull up to people like street and then just like bring your laundry and come up on this big ass truck and you can do your laundry. It's like a laundromat on wheels.
Why don't they have more of those?
I don't know, dog.
Because there's tons of people that don't have washer and dryer in their house or where they live.
Why is delivery only limited to ice cream? I mean, ice cream's great, but I mean, we need to up the game here. We need to be delivering laundry. I mean, they do it with dogs. I know they come to your house to wash your dogs.
Yeah, they do that too. All you got to do is take something and put wheels on it, and it's fantastic.
That's a good point, dude. That's a good point.
What would be bad on wheels? Think of something that would be bad on wheels.
I don't know.
Think of something that can't conveniently come up on wheels that you would be like, nah, I'm not doing that.
I want to see a rhinoceros with roller skates. Now that's an image. That's an image for all of us.
I don't think that's ever going to happen. Ever. But somebody needs to do it. Somebody needs to design rhino roller skates.
He would be so mad when he woke
It's
up.
like a cat with bags on its things.
All right. Yeah, I mean, I would pay to see it. If we get enough money, let's pay to make that happen. Guys, you can help us get us there. Just tell somebody you know about Sloppy Horror Podcast, and they'll tell somebody they know, and eventually we'll be able to make this dream come true.
And it will only benefit you because you will be more entertained than you are right now. If you're entertained right now, ha! 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 Jeez.
That's like that James Brown.
You just wait. You just wait, because there are good things coming.
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained about the Nights of the Demons?
Uh-huh. I feel like Russell Crowe's. All right. That's good, man. Night of the Demons. We got it on the books. It's on the scoreboard. It's up there, dog. Next week, you don't know what's going to happen.
Do you even know what's going to happen?
Nope.
You don't?
Nope.
Man, you used to pick the movie, then you give a hint about the movie, but now you're just going all rogue. You're going all wild card bitches on everybody.
I have. I've been going off the cuff. I don't know why, but we got to pick the perfect Halloween movie.
Well, it is a lot more pressure because it is Halloween, so I will give you that. You got to pick something very specific. You can't just pick all willy-nilly. You just can't just put a random thing on the shelf and pick it up. Nah, you got to search through there. You got to file. You got to find it.
We're picking Ernest Scared Stupid next week.
That's a good choice, actually. I was going to suggest that movie.
Ernest is great.
If you don't like Ernest,
go fuck yourself.
You got to go home, and you stay there forever and never come out.
Mm-hmm.
And quit bugging the world. Ernest is great.
Yeah, he's pretty good. I like Ernest. R.I.P. dog, Jim Verney.
The man, the myth, the legend himself.
Apparently he was a chain smoker.
He looks like a chain smoker.
Know what I mean?
I feel like he'd be a good, caddy or janitor.
Oh,
like
yeah,
he would
he's
work
got
at-
that
he-
written all over him.
Yep, he looks like a janitor.
Yeah, I want to learn more about him. There's got to be some documentaries out there about him.
There's behind-the-scenes stuff with him I'd seen randomly.
Was he just like ripping rails of coke and just like, rah?
No, he's Ernest off screen, too. He acts like him all
man.
the time.
What do you think his favorite food was?
His favorite food?
Yeah. Like Armor chili in a can. Like, you know what I mean?
I was thinking of that, or like pot roast or something.
I don't know. This whole house smells like soup.
Smells like a Campbell's factory over here.
It smells like soup and cigarettes at his house. I don't want to go.
That's not a good smell.
Soup and cigarettes.
It's an awful combination. Neither of them smell good.
These are pungent smells. Soup and cigarettes. That's what my man Jim Barney smelled like.
Dude, have you ever walked anywhere and smelled soup and you're like, damn, that smells good? You don't.
No. It's not. Ooh.
And the smell of a cigarette is so horrible.
It
Oh
is.
my God, it's the worst. And I'm a smoker.
Unless you get like a light trace of it and there's like good ventilation, you're like, oh, okay. If you don't have one, it'll smell good.
Yeah. Like going up to a hotel on the smoking floor. Oh, God.
They've been smoking heavy in here.
Makes you question everything that you've ever done in your life when you go on that floor and you smell that smell.
It does. But
And
you
then
know
you
what?
mix it with soup.
But you know what else is going to make you question everything? If you don't tune back in next fucking week to see what we have picked as a finale for the road to Halloween. All right? Everyone's
I
biting
thought we have
in.
2 more episodes.
We do, but that one's like a bonus Halloween episode.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
So this is technically the last regular movie of the season because I want to end with the movie because I don't want to rate these movies because we've picked like other categories, Rob Zombie, Eli Roth, trying to pick the winner. I don't really care to pick a winner out of this bunch. Like we can still name a winner, like we can figure out who won the season, but this last one, it deserves to be a fun Halloween episode. All right, so we got some fun shit planned. So that's what's happening. So we thank you, boys and girls, for everything. Make sure you stay subscribed on all platforms. And, comment. Let us know where you're from. Check out the Patreon. All of these things help us out major. So that's all we got for you, folks. We hope you have a wonderful week. And carve some pumpkins, eat some candy corn. I don't know, put razors and apples. Do something. Do something. But we're out of here.
Okay, goodbye.
Bye.